Hey guys, video number 4. I hope that you watch video number 3. If you're actually watching this one and didn't see video number 3, stop this and go watch video number 3 before you watch this. This is the final part of that prophetic revelation that he started this journey with. Now, I've got to tell you that before I finish this, and I explained a little bit of that on video number 3, is that God sent me, allowed me to get to a retreat out in South Carolina. And as I was driving here, he gave me the instruction to release both parts before I left here this weekend. Now, I hadn't been back in these notes since video number 2 was recorded, and until I got here, I wasn't, I went back in it to hear what he was saying so that I can go ahead and release it to you guys, and it was absolutely insane. At this retreat, I came here not to speak. I came here, and God gave me very specific instructions that I came here to receive whatever he had for me, and I was obedient, and I sat and I've been receiving. And when I tell you God will set you up to receive your blessing, to receive your deliverance, and I'm not talking about a blessing in monetary, I'm not talking about an external blessing, I'm talking about the blessing of confirmation and the blessing of peace and the blessing of joy and the blessing that comes to give you confidence in ability to walk in all that he has given you. So many people are stuck where they're at because they don't see how he's going to get them there. When I tell you that the one act of obedience, the repeated act of obedience, that one thing is he wants is for your obedience, even when you don't trust the process, even when you don't see it, even when your faith might waver, even when you're mad, even when you're disappointed, even with tears in your eyes, if you simply can be obedient to whatever he's asking you to do. I have kids. If I ask you to do something, do it. Be obedient. Kicking and screaming, you know what? Just do what it is I'm asking, because there's something on the other end. And I believe that that's what God was doing. I got here to South Carolina with a sense of expectation, not knowing what he was about to do. And let me tell you that everything that I'm about to read in terms of release and renewal, about intellect not being able to keep him from doing what he wants to do, when that you have to release in order to receive, that he's trying to take us to a new place, and in order for a new thing to happen, we must be willing to do a new thing. He is amazing, because I went back in these notes, and I told you, he told me I have to finish it this weekend before I leave, and I understand why. He says in this season, I'll give you this, in this season, everything is a double edge. And what does that mean? He says, whatever we're giving, it is also for us. So don't take it as I'm sitting here and I'm all high and mighty. God, no, I'm just as broken as the next person. But God is able to use whatever vessel becomes available to him. And if you simply say yes, God will confirm and reaffirm and redetermine and reestablish and reset you and recalibrate you and remold you and reshape you for his use. So when we end this video, it will officially be the end of the prophetic revelation, at least the first download of prophetic revelation. I will continue the videos as he gives me word to give them to you. I know God is good. I've said yes to this journey. I've said yes to go wherever he sends me. I will say what he asks me to say, no matter how difficult it might be. I needed to come here today to gain the confidence in his word, to gain the confidence in his love, not to gain confidence in myself. No, absolutely not. Don't get it messed up. It is to gain the confidence in him, and the trust and the process that you have endured has been for a reason, that he has truly broke you and put you back together in front of the very people that thought that you would never make it, simply to give you a platform, simply to make you a platform for his glory. So here we go. Go watch his videos 1 through 3 so that you can see where we ended up in 4. He says, I've come that the gift in you may be stirred up. I desire to move and to renew. No wall can keep me in, nor no wall can keep me out. No intellect can understand me. No man nor woman can control me, God is saying. He says, for my will and my promises that I have called into existence since the beginning of time, since the beginning and foundation of the world, he says, will manifest, must manifest, not just for you, not just for your home, not just for your church, not just for your place, but man, for those that are lost, for the body in its entirety, it must come to pass. He says many are perishing due to the stagnation of where they've been, right? He says, and as the church, we have to understand, and when I say church, I don't mean a local church, I don't mean one church in particular, I'm talking about the body. We as believers are the church. We are what Christ will come back for. So this is not a denominational thing, this isn't a church thing in terms of an address. This is the body, and the body has to understand that until we stop and we allow God to use us at his will, that there is Um, that the blood of those that are lost and are perishing out there because they have yet to hear the good news, and I don't mean hear it audibly, but I'm talking about see it in the transparency of our lives and our transformation. That blood will be on the hands of the church, you guys. He says, I'm only going to use those that I humble. So if you're being humbled and broken, understand he's preparing to use you. Only those that have endured the brokenness and believe in the power of my love. Now listen, I know you're broken and I know it may seem difficult, but if you're listening to this, you've endured the brokenness. You're not gone. You may be tired and you may not understand and you may want to tap out right now, but if you're listening to this, you have endured thus far and you must believe in the power of his love. You may not understand all the other stuff, but you know that he loves you because you're listening. He says, those people that have endured, those people who believe in his love, those people who he has humbled shall see my glory revealed. And here's the thing, the glory is not in the platform. This is the thing he keeps giving me. The glory is in the moment. The glory is when you can sit there and watch somebody get to a place of wholeness. When you get to see somebody else's healing process, that is glory. When you get to see the sun rise and the sun set, somebody can't, so you've been allowed to see the glory. When you start to feel his presence and you watch him move despite you, that is glory. He says, we have to stop delimiting. He says, stop delimiting me. Please stop delimiting. Get out the way. He says, your level of thinking delimits me. So do not put a limit on what I'm going to do. He says, in this season, cry out. Cry out from the places of need. Cry out from your brokenness. Cry out from your vulnerability. Because all I need, he says, is a repented, emptied vessel that allows me to make a lasting habitation and no longer just to stop in your emergency situations. He is so good. So if you're being poured out of yourself, if you're being emptied, if you're being broken, if you're being humbled, he says that's okay, because that's what he's looking for, is a repented, emptied vessel that is allowing me to do what it is that I do. He says only those people that are able to hear how I want them to hear and see how I want them to hear, since they were going to understand that the brokenness, that my grace is more than sufficient in it. I know that you're broken. I know that you're tired. I know that you're spent. I know that you don't know how you're about to be renewed and refreshed and given the strength to release. He says, but guess what? My grace has been provided and it is more than sufficient. In your weakness, I've already been present to provide my strength. He says, lean into my presence. Lean into my presence. He says, for those, though, that hear and those that see but sit on the sidelines, please understand, to much is given, much is required. We can no longer act as if we have no prophetic eyes or prophetic voice out there. We can no longer act as if you can't see and hear what is happening. You can no longer sit there from the high places that God has elevated you to and think that you can't come down to the broken places where the sheep, where the people, where the brokenness is. Some of y'all are afraid to get dirty, and please understand, for those that much has been given, the gift of sight, the gift of prophecy, the gift of discernment, the gift of encouragement, the gift of wisdom, love, leadership, anything that God has deposited into you, and you are sitting in high and mighty places and you refuse to come down, he says much is given, much is required. He says there has to be a level of trust, right? And this trust is faith. It's faith. And because he's calling us to a greater level of trust, it's still the same faith in the same God, the same Father who loves you and despite of you has always kept you and provided you grace that is more than sufficient to keep you. So in this new place, this is just trust him. It may seem a little different. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you that I have been feeling this shaking since the beginning of the year, and God's saying it's about to stop. It's about to stop, and we're about to move. And when feet hit the ground, we're about to move, and we're about to see just new revelation, and we're going to see a new glory. We're going to see miracles, signs, and wonders. We're going to see God do what it is that God has been waiting to do, as he has been waiting on our obedience in order to release, receive, and refresh and be ready for what he is doing. He says those that have been self-reliant, stop. He says you have trusted in other voices. You have trusted in your own voice. You have trusted in your jobs, in your abilities, in your talents, not your gifts, but your talents. You work multiple hours and yet you haven't received anything. Think that you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You're being self-reliant. He says many have trusted their trinket gods, and those trinket gods may be relationships, may be things that you have put in an idle place. He says, no, come down from them high places. Stop being self-reliant, because right now, those that are being self-reliant and have opposed the voice and the nudge of God are suffering the consequences. Don't get mad when you end up going through the consequence of what you have brought on out of your self-reliance. He says, but deliverance is a choice. It is a choice. He says it is a choice. He says, and those that release are going to see breakthrough. Those that release will experience victory. Those that release will begin to see the manifestation of their deliverance. He says, I'm doing a new thing. He says, I'm doing a new thing, and a new thing requires a new thing. That's how it all began in video number 1. He is so amazing, right? I'm doing a new thing, and in this new thing, old things can't sustain. Old things will not keep you. Old masks, old cosmetics, old hidden places, old comfortable places. Go back and watch all of them. All of those things will not sustain you in this new place. A new level of trust, a new level of relationship, a new level of vulnerability and transparency, a new level just to simply be obedient and to trust him. He says you can't put old wine into new wineskins. It can't contain it. It can't hold it. And what God is getting ready to do, our old mentalities, our old ways can't hold the glory that is about to come. He says, I'm making definitive lines. I'm making definitive lines, and I'm about to make all things clear. I'm separating the wheat from the tare. Don't worry about it. He says, you're going to get the revelation that you've been asking for. You will receive the direction that you need. You will receive the what it is that you need in this season. It's about to stop shaking. It's about to stop shaking, and our feet are about to hit the ground, and God is about to do what it is that he does. He says, this is why I called the remnant. This is why I shook the remnant up. This is why I pushed you out of those comfortable places. This is why I made you become transparent. This is why I'm calling you to this place, because I am about to do what it is that I do. He says, ever since the beginning of biblical history, I have always separated mine from the rest. So if you're separated and you've been feeling all of this, and you know that this has been confirmation after confirmation, well, I've come to tell you that this is it. It's about to show us. He's about to show us what it is that we have been enduring the process for. I'm so excited. He says, I desire to manifest. I desire to release my power, and I desire to make the hazy places clear. I promise to breathe and to move in the stagnant, broken places of your life for those that are willing. This ends the prophetic series, the first download of Revelations. I'm so excited. I didn't think I would be this excited, but I'm excited because I know that as much as I didn't want to do this, I've been obedient and I did it. And God is amazing. And as I pour out of myself and I do the work, it's the Lazarus effect a year. Don't forget that. Go back 2019, Lazarus effect a year. What stones do you have to move? What work do you need to do? What do you need to do in order to get healthy and to get prepared? I urge you to examine your life and what is the stone that you're resistant to move, because the resurrection of your dream, the resurrection of your call and your purpose are on the other side of that stone. God says, I've already called forth for it, but you must be willing to do the work. And the only way you'll receive the strength to do the work is to trust me in the process, he says. So I love you guys. I thank you guys for your support. Do me a favor, share, and share. Go subscribe to the YouTube page at Maria Bonner. Go and comment and share. Let God do whatever he's going to do. Until we talk again, may the blessings of God continue to pursue you.